Hey, hey, man. Don't jump. You look crazy enough to jump. Don't jump.
You know what's missing from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 5 issues? Democracy. It's my son. Who, by the way, wanted to make sure that his absentee ballot was that I did that, and I had trouble actually voting for him absentee ballot today, and that made me very concerned.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
What's going on, Habibis? I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
And we're the Habibi Bros. Welcome to a very special episode. It's actually a special, not even an episode. It's just a special. It's the 2022 Midterm Election Denial Special, where we basically deny that an election's even happening. Jay, did you vote today?
Yes, I terrorized democracy and hopefully burned it down.
There's not even an election happening, Jay. Why would you vote? That's voter fraud.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's voter fraud right there.
Here, let me.
How could I vote when there's no election happening?
Excuse me, FBI. Yes, I found him. He's right here on the stream with me. Bring Nina Jankowicz.
Nina Jankowicz. Yeah, why are you echoing, sir?
Why am I echoing?
Yeah, are you using your gamer headphones? Is that why?
Yeah, because I'm traveling. Let's see what's happening. Do I have everything supposedly? I'm really echoing?
No, a little, not too much, just a little.
Should I bring it closer into my
mouth?
Okay.
Into your mouth.
Okay, great.
You're using small things in your mouth, just like when I come over.
Exactly. As you know, we are reporting live from. I'm in the Washington Post newsroom right now, because
I'm in burnt down democracy right now.
Mashallah. So I will be reporting how Jay ended democracy. It's quite fiery back there, Jay.
Oh no, it is. There's a lot of flames. We have successfully terrorized democracy.
Alhamdulillah. You'll happen to know that tonight is special. One, I'm traveling, and two, that means I'm using my old webcam. And
no wonder I was wondering why you're coming in out of focus, because we pretty much killed that. Yeah. When you bought the new camera.
Right, and then it came back. It came. So, anyways, we're doing this little thing here where we are. We got some drinking rules for tonight. After all, this is a power hour, and
yes, it is, as always.
If you need any instructions about what the drinking rules are, obviously check out everyone's saying my audio shit, but check out the description of this video. Is it still coming in shitty?
No, it is a little shitty. I mean, do you have NVIDIA Broadcaster on that computer?
It's literally on right now. Do I have to go? Do I have to delete, turn this shit off?
No, it's literally the mic that you have.
It's too bad. Here, let me mute. How about now?
You're a little better.
Let me try to switch away from the microphone. All right, let's hope that does something. If anything, I probably didn't. Oh, that's probably Jay, this is. How about now?
All right, there we go. Is it because you didn't pick the right microphone like a boomer?
How about now? Are we good now?
All right, you're much better.
Jesus, every single time StreamYard does this to me.
It's not StreamYard. It's your boomer self.
Me.
That's
true.
Everything that happens to us is by our own doing.
There's no excuses.
There's no victim blaming here.
It's just my fault.
Exactly.
Okay. Before we we got some guests on tonight. We got having a nice little rotating panel of guests. So the rules are pretty simple for tonight's stream. Now, when Jay and I mention anything, you don't drink. But when our guests or any of the election coverage that we watch, like MSNBC or CNN, we jump in and out, any mentions of these things, we gotta either drink, chug, or finish our drink too. Okay. So that means anytime someone mentions democracy, Donald Trump, anytime someone blames the results on misinformation or disinformation, that's when you just take a nice little sip. When you have to butt chug, however, if someone mentions a foreign election interference or voter suppression, and then we finish our drink every time someone says that or suggests or makes any subtle inkling into saying that democracy died, democracy is over, or democracy is ended. And of course, anytime someone mentions white supremacy. So without further ado, Jay and Spencer, our producer, let's go ahead and watch a little bit of coverage before we bring our first guest in. Maybe you could turn up that volume, Spencer. Can you hear anything, Jay?
No, because he had it on mute.
Too far. And
my God.
And he got Trump's attention. Trump attacked O'Day.
He went after him, right?
Trump went after him,
right.
And that hurt some Republican support.
So some of our predictions.
And he didn't regret it at all, right? He
said, isn't it like
I was hoping Joy Ree would be on
Trump
this.
has mentioned that we have to drink.
He was his own man here, and as Chuck points out, clearly.
Oh shit, we do. Fuck.
Yeah, they mentioned him like 3 times just now.
We want to die.
On the ballot.
Since that was seeded from former President Trump.
We're so dead.
Race. This is a really important point that I think I'm glad we're talking about, because if you look at the races across the country, there are hundreds of people who are election deniers or election skeptics, including 17 candidates who are running for the Senate on the Republican side, who have questioned the legitimate results of the 2020 election. Will not say affirmatively that President Joe Biden won that office legitimately. And in the governor's races, you've got 17 governors on the Republican side who are
Schumer
running,
on for 4 years denying the 2016 election.
For
4 years, he was a guest on NBC denying the election.
Because these are the positions that do the administration of elections wherever you live, in your state, in most states, right? Along with the attorneys general.
Oh, they're setting it up
10 of those
for
Secretary of State positions are
Stop
election
the
deniers
Steal
or election skeptics
2024.
who are running. And here's why this matters. And let me give you one
Why
example.
did we do this to ourselves? Why did I come up with these rules?
All 3 statewide races, governor,
I have no
Secretary of
idea.
State, and Attorney General, the Republican candidates are election deniers or skeptics. 2 of those states are Arizona and Michigan, which will be key in 2024. If these are the candidates who end up winning, and we don't know right now where those races are, that could have a major impact on counting votes come 2024.
Rory Mitzer comes up with a good question. When did Oz question the election?
In 2 years, we don't know where we'll be.
Did he ever question the election?
If they win, will be.
While he was debating or stating anything?
3 out of 4 Republicans in our exit poll said that they
because they had him on the list.
Fairly.
Who's this? Oz?
You were surprised.
Yeah. Did he ever deny the 2020 election or question it?
If we had been sitting in a 50-50.
Our exit poll said about 63% thought of all Americans thought that
69%.
President Biden was legitimately the president.
And more Republicans still do not accept that result. But overall, about these results, 3 and 4 Republicans said that they expected to be counted fairly.
When you look at a state like Arizona, you just mentioned, it's you have a Senate candidate who's an election denier doubter. You have the governor candidate, same thing. The Secretary of State and the Attorney General. It's not a trifecta. It's a quadfecta. Sure. Potentially, if they sweep, and you're talking about a race in Arizona in 2020 that was decided by 11,000 votes.
If you're talking about lawsuits, right, from, let's say, Democrats, if those Republican candidates do win, if you're talking about
from our locals premium chat, that we're now running 24/7. Rory Metzger says, "Sorry, your man Charlie Chris."
That's why this matters. And Chuck, to your point, I would wonder, do you have any? We've seen a little bit here in the exit polling, national versus battleground state split, because we all know. And I don't want to get into 2024, but 2024, the president isn't elected by the popular national vote. It's in these battleground states. If it comes down to just a couple of states, right, and we're looking at them.
But Pennsylvania is one.
See, look, they're setting it up. They're setting it up for 2024 for them to be actually like
Josh Shapiro, the attorney
to legitimize themselves in denying the 2024 election.
Led all the lawsuits.
That is how that is what's happening right now. That is how they're setting themselves up.
but was considered really too extreme by the voters.
Another counterpoint is Brian Kemp in Georgia, who, of course, went to war with Donald Trump over the results in Georgia.
God, Pennsylvania is such a shit show in
Did the
Pennsylvania.
Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. So, I mean, it's
don't
let
Ye know that Shapiro won in Pennsylvania.
You used the W word, Savannah, and I
Did you say
almost
ye?
stopped right there. I'm like, you know what?
Ye.
We don't have evidence.
Don't
of the
let
way.
Ye know.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it might not happen. But let
Ye
me show
and
you.
she.
Remember, I did my small medium.
Ye
No,
champagne.
Ye,
Ye
as in Kanye.
So we're not looking at a tsunami
Kanye.
for Republicans. Virginia
Ye.
7.
Don't let Ye know that Shapiro won in Pennsylvania.
We've been very focused on here. Look at how close this is, just 3,000 votes. And we have some updated totals in here. We think there's still 22,000 votes. So this is one where we're going to wait till all the votes are counted before we call this race. But already this tells you this may
Stop the count.
The size of
Yeah, right. Stop it right now.
Florida may give them enough for the majority already. They picked up 4 seats in that state. But this tells you something. And let me take you over to Virginia 2 and explain why we haven't called Virginia 2 yet. Okay, here. And it's simply all of the remaining vote is early vote, okay, and mail vote. So even though it looks like Kiggins has a big lead over Luria, we believe almost all the remaining vote is earlier absentee. And if that decidedly goes Democrats' way, that is why we haven't called that yet. And let me just take you to a few other places very quickly just to show you my little heat check of where I'm looking at races. Rhode Island 2, this was a race that Republicans were really excited about. They had a great candidate in Alan Fung, and he really he was not your sort of traditional conservative Republican.
Oh, thank God she's here.
This is one that
Hey,
thank God.
It's not a Habibi Power Hour or a Habibi guest if she's not late. Welcome, Habibti.
I'm 3
Habibti.
minutes early. What?
Oh, we don't care. We're taking you right away. Habibti, it is Batya Bibi. How you doing on this fine evening? Happy midterm election. Actually, there's no election. If you acknowledge an election, immediately banned.
Yeah, we're
Cancel.
denying the election's even happening. We're not just election deniers. We're denying it's even happening in the first place.
So Batya is going to hang out with us for a bit while we deny that a midterm election is happening tonight, or today, I should say. Batya, did you vote?
Wow, straight with of course I voted.
Why would you vote? There's no midterm election happening.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely didn't. Did you vote?
No.
I mean, if we voted and there's no election happening, I mean,
what does that make us, Stacey Abrams or something?
It's in.
Maybe.
The rig is in. That we already know what's going to happen now. We're voting on a non-election night.
So presumably, now I'm reporting from Washington Post headquarters right now. Presumably, what are you seeing right now, Batya? If hypothetically there was a midterm election happening today?
Hypothetically, I just heard a very, I'm just going to say it, sanctimonious speech.
You mean a dissanctimonious speech?
Dissanctimonious.
It was very sanctimonious, and I know that people were like, "This is not Trump's best work," but I have to say that there's no other word that's quite as apt to describe that speech.
Are you talking about DeSantis? Are you talking about DeSantis?
Are you a Trump sim? Are you a Trump simp? Is that what's happening right now?
I'm talking about if there were hypothetically an election in Florida tonight, and if hypothetically somebody had just been declared the winner by 20 points, hypothetically, over somebody who said he didn't want anybody's votes. And then if that person hypothetically went on to do an acceptance speech that I just watched, that speech... I don't know, man. I have to say, I was a skeptic of the word of the nickname. I agreed with everybody, not Trump's finest work, but watching that speech, it was hella sanctimonious.
Hella sanctimonious. Wow. Now, for those of you who have no idea what's going on, Trump has been actually taking quite a few shots at Ron DeSantis over this last few days in the lead up to the hypothetical midterm election.
Alleged
midterm election. My sources are saying a midterm election. Calling him the sanctimonious, and then today, after quote unquote voting for him, he said that if Ron DeSantis decides to run in 2024, that he's going to basically reveal like all these horrific things about Ron DeSantis.
Trump said that today?
Allegedly said.
Wow.
Although he's on record as saying it.
That is hilarious. So, Jay, in a run-up between Trump and DeSanctimonious, who would you vote for? Allegedly.
I would vote for DeSantis.
Why?
Well, I think he's everything that Trump wished he had. In terms of like, he not only does he do really well in fighting against, or saying it like it is and all this different kind of stuff, but he does it in a really good demeanor compared to Trump. And also he does it where he speaks proper English throughout the whole time he's doing it.
Right.
He might not be as funny as Trump.
Right.
That's for sure. But I think he would get more shit done.
So on the effectiveness front, and what about you, Siraj? Which one would you go for?
I live in Florida.
No, I mean in 2024.
I know, I live in Florida.
I don't get it.
So you would vote?
They're both in Florida.
Yeah, but only one of them is governor. I want them to be governor for much longer.
So you would vote for Trump so that...
No, I wouldn't vote. I'm not saying I vote for Trump, but I'm just saying it's either DeSantis or nobody. I'm not... After what Trump did, honestly, after what Trump did in the last few days, he basically gave away his position. He basically he made it all about his ego,
right,
and his motivation, that he's just running to stroke his ego. And I don't think that's. I think that's very how he's unbecoming, if you will.
And that's the whole theme of Trump for sure.
Right, but like to do that in the last few days before a pretty crucial alleged hypothetical midterm election, I gotta say, Trump does a really good job at fumbling the bag.
So two things. First of all, during DeSantis's alleged acceptance speech, the crowd was chanting 2 more years.
Oh, Jesus, really?
Yeah, I think is like, that means because they want him to be the president, right? Is that what that means?
I mean, yes. Look, I'm not going to say like it would be bad to have DeSantis run for president. I'm just saying that there are very few options that could replace DeSantis in Florida.
Right, that's for sure true.
I might as well move to California and become a Gavin Newsom simp, right, Jay? Like Jay, exactly.
Like I am. Absolutely.
Exactly.
100%. If you go through my feed, the only thing that I do is I don't call him a piece of dog shit every other fucking time I get the chance. I say that all hell Newsom.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing to California.
And even does the salute that even Ye would be proud of.
You love what he's doing to California, really?
I love it. Absolutely. The homelessness, the taking my tax dollars for no reason whatsoever, not even building proper roads. The 10 is absolute shit right now. I mean, the whole thing is amazing. I love it. He's doing such a great job.
I am very excited for DeSantis v. Newsom in 2024. I think it's going to be a matchup for the ages.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who would you vote for in that scenario?
I don't even think that's I think DeSantis could walk away with what he walked away with today, which was like 60% of the vote. My take on Trump last night was like, it was so funny because you could tell that he was standing there being like, why am I up here saying nice things about them. Like, why am I capital on them? And you could see in his head, he was like dying to say, but somehow someone convinced him to hold it in. And I was actually very surprised that he managed to hold it in.
I watched the stream. I watched the rally he did in Ohio.
Yeah.
And he kind of like listed off all these names of people he was endorsing.
Yeah.
Obviously they seem to want to generate some hype by saying, oh, he's going to announce he's going to run for president. So that was an announcement of an announcement that he's going to run for president. We all know he's going to run. Right. The biggest takeaway from that rally, though, is that he actually bent the knee to Brian Kemp, the incumbent governor in Georgia. And he had trashed Brian Kemp quite a bit, both after the 2020 election and like consistently for like the next, I don't know, however many months. So of all the people that I'm surprised that he endorsed, that's obviously the most shocking. I almost wish that he endorsed Stacey Abrams just for the lulz. And like everybody would understand. Everybody would be like, yeah, fuck Brian Kemp. Stacey Abrams is our gal.
That's hilarious. Right. Because it's like, well, who's he going to pick? Like the person who stood up to him or an election denier? Like he clearly should have gone with the election denier, which was Stacey Abrams.
Exactly.
Absolutely right.
So
I mean, it's going to be hilarious to watch like MSNBC and CNN start. I mean, they already have really pushing the narrative that Georgia has voter suppression when they had record turnout and record voting, like early voting as well, before we even got to the midterm election right now.
You guys, you have to play this bit by my friend Jeff because it's so funny.
You want to send it to us in the private chat?
I'm going to send it to you in the private chat.
Okay. Send it to us in the private chat and then have Spencer pull it up because what is he good for anyways? Worst producer in the world. Real quick, before, while we're getting that video set up, just a couple things. It looks like in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott will win that election over Robert Francis O'Rourke.
Which sucks for the representation to the furries, honestly. I mean, it's about time they had proper representation. And the fact that we demonize them the way we do in this country is disgusting. It's bigotry towards the fuzzies.
It's honestly a pretty big blow to the Latinx.
Yes.
Let's see what we got here. So this is Jeff on the right.
This is my friend Jeff.
Okay.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to cut this quick video I mean, if you've been following me on Twitter and what I've been talking about as far as my struggle as a black man in Texas to get to the ballot box to cast my vote, you know, I did it. I overcame white supremacy. I'm one of the few black people in states like Texas and Georgia and others that managed to overcome white supremacy, to exercise my right to vote as protected by the Constitution of the United States of America. And when I say America, I'm spelling that with the 3 Ks, not with the letter C, because that's what we're dealing with. We are dealing with widespread Jim Crow 2.0 to prevent people like me from voting. So I just wanted to let you guys know and give you guys some encouragement. Most of us won't be able to make it because you've got these MAGA extremists out there preventing us from voting, but some of us will. So it's important that we try. You know, I want to give a shout out to people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Marcus Garvey, who fought so hard for these rights. You know, and I'm glad that people like them and my grandparents and my great-grandparents didn't have to go through what we go through today just to be able to cast a vote. But, you know, I also want to give a shout out to people fighting in the struggle today. People like Shaun King, Jussie Smollett. All of these people had to deal with the rampant white supremacy that still remains in America today. And it's very important that we still continue to fight in this struggle. You know, they're still holding us down. So I just wanted to kind of give you that word of encouragement. I also wanted to basically let you know that it's going to be okay. And probably a lot of you are probably wondering who I voted for. And I'm just going to tell you, when I got to that ballot box, I voted for democracy. With the C, with the letter C, not with the 3 Ks. I voted for democracy, and I do the same. Thank you.
Every buzzword he could say was there, and we got a drink because he said democracy like 3 times.
Yeah.
But there's all these people, like conservatives and MAGA folks, who don't realize that it was parody. So they're like sharing it and being like, bullshit, like, like, trying to stop you. It's just so funny. Like, his handle is literally Jeff on the right or something like that. Anyway.
He did a really good job in using every buzzword he could use. He even brought up Malcolm X, for fuck's sake.
So good.
That was great.
That's beautiful. So before we let you go, Batya, any bold predictions you have for the rest? If there's one bold prediction you could make tonight, what would it be?
I have this feeling that Ron DeSantis is going to win.
Yeah, hypothetically, right?
Hypothetically. Listen, I don't prognosticate because I'm always wrong. So I leave that to the people who make a lot more money than me and never pay for being wrong, because I feel like I might get fired.
Oh yeah, they never do.
Batya, let's
they
be
never
honest.
pay for being wrong.
Let's be honest. You didn't start being wrong until you met us.
It's true. It's true. I've been really wrong on this very show, which is probably why you're asking me to predict who's going to win, so you can play it next time I come on and be like,
oh yeah, but knowing Spencer, he's going to cut it where you're like absolutely right about everything.
Yeah, as he did last time. Swear to God, worst producer we've ever had.
He makes sure that we look like dicks every fucking time he can.
Every single
That's
time.
The whole point
every single
of him
time.
being a producer.
Genius.
Batya, I have to thank you again for reaching out to me about the whole Dearborn story and writing that up for Newsweek. I thought that was a whole lot of fun.
You crushed it. That is such a great story. I just love it. I mean, the videos of these like deeply Muslim parents like reading out these like horrible pornographic books and like in outrage, and then the white libs being like, "We brought you here. We saved you. We're sand dunes." It's like so perfect.
I think the most ridiculous part of that, though, came this past week when I think Stephen Colbert doubted the existence of Khalil Othman, who told Tudor Dixon that he was voting Republican because of the pornographic materials in his kids' books. And while Colbert apologized, like, in any other situation, if there was a Republican going against a Muslim Democrat, just like with Trump and the Muslim Brethren, it was one of those things where like everyone would have called him completely Islamophobic. I know Colbert's not running for office, but if he ever does, we should always make sure remind him of that.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
And it's just so charming. Like they have these signs that are like, no porn in the schools, and the word porn is misspelled because these are like really devout people who like actually never think about this stuff, except like they're really upset about like, I mean, the books are very, very pornographic, but
they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad.
It literally shows an underage boy getting sucked off by another underage boy. Like that's literally the images in that book. It's insane. And what's really hilarious about it is that it's not only like Muslim immigrants, it's immigrants in general that come over here that see shit like that are totally outraged by it. I mean, they don't understand that immigrants, especially ones that just come over here, are more socially conservative than the everyday liberal.
Right.
But just because they're brown skinned and stuff, they think that they're always going to go with their issues and on their side on things.
Yeah. I will just say though, they're like, so Muslim Americans leaned Republican until September 11th, and then they took a hard swing to the left, and now they're sort of returning to the right. But like,
you know as well.
I mean, that was on the, like, that was, you know what I mean? Like that like bad stuff went down. Like they made them feel like a fifth column. And so like they, you know, it's kind of with Black Americans, it's like, yeah, Democrats have had a lock on that vote. They've been totally betraying them, abandoning them, taking them for granted, giving them nothing in exchange for those votes. But it's like the reason they went to the Dems was because the Republicans opposed like the civil rights movement, which was like, no bueno, you know? So it's like that shared responsibility, I feel like, but it is like, to me, so there's something so pure and charming about seeing these Muslim parents like coming together with these Christian parents to be like, stop teaching our children how to give hand jobs.
If anything, that's what living on a farm in Afghanistan will teach you. You know, there are goats right there. It's easy technique, and honestly, red rockets work just perfectly fine. And with that, Batya, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Midterm Election Denial Special.
Anytime.
Take it, have a drink.
Dude, God bless. Bye.
Bye. Batya Bibi, always a fun.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. We got our next guest already in the wings. Our Habibi Bros, if he decides to turn his camera on and unmute his mic, because we're gonna just like talk to a brick wall if I pull him up. I guess I see him unmuting his mic. Oh, there he is. Oh my God.
Can you guys hear me? God. Let's get this party started. Hell yeah, let's do shots.
Oh yes, do shots.
Dies tonight. Democracy dies tonight. Woo.
All right, enough of that bullshit.
Beautiful.
Shit.
Habibis, you know him well, Anang Mittal.
How's it going, guys?
On Twitter,
Habibi.
Anang
Habibi.
How you doing, man? Dude, the setup is looking great.
Yeah, upgraded a little bit over the last year. So yeah, at this point, I was just on Indian television talking about the election.
Bro, I saw that. That was great.
Yeah, it was fun, and it's like my third or second TV hit. No, it's my second TV hit, but it was like 3 segments, and it's one of those things where you start to realize like it's like being on television, like actual television is like being a politician. Don't answer the question they ask. Answer the question you want to answer. Because like the other guy was like, oh, January 6th, Trump. They're like asking about fiscal policy, like how this is going to affect like the fiscal policy. He's like, January 6th, Trump. And I'm like, oh, you can just do that? Okay. All right. I'll just go off topic.
It works. It's crazy how this all works out.
Yeah. It's like, well, let me tell you what I care about. I care about the people of Pennsylvania. And it's like, what? No, we didn't ask you. Like, what are you doing?
So, with a few races already closing and some of them called, Anang, which ones have you seen that really stood out to you? I mean, I'm sorry, allegedly stood out to you.
Allegedly, yeah. I don't know if there's an election on. I'm just here to witness the end of democracy, or so I've been told. Definitely the DeSantis alleged win is what I'm paying attention to. The vaunted Miami-Dade victory is important because that shows.
Okay, so let's get into that. What are you seeing in Miami-Dade?
He won by 20 points, which
in Miami-Dade?
Sorry, he won by 14 points. I could be wrong.
In Miami-Dade.
Yeah, Miami-Dade. He won huge.
Wow.
So Miami-Dade, he won by, let's see. He won by huge points.
It shows how white supremacy has infected the Latino.
Exactly.
Latino
No,
I'm sorry. It's Latinx, Jay. Latinx.
Oh, I apologize. The Latinx. The Latinx swing white supremacists now.
Yeah, we are white. Well, not we, but they're white adjacent at this point. They're complicit in white supremacy. They're probably the descendants of the people who helped the conquistadors.
Are pretty white adjacent.
Yeah. Well, that's the line. That's the funny way that the progressives are tackling this issue, which is that I think that one of the lines that they'll use is that there's this whole brouhaha over this last year about Spanish language radio stations. So they'll say, well, the reason that DeSantis won is misinformation. So, how do we transport? How do we transport the Trump stuff over to DeSantis? All of that, and they'll be doing exactly all of that, which is that these poor people, they got snookered in by Spanish language. These devious Republicans are, they know how to speak Spanish now. So all of a sudden they're using the Spanish language to motivate the Hispanics into voting for us. And so this is something that the Indian news person asked the other guy, but didn't ask me, so I didn't talk about it there. But I would like to talk about it here, which is that this is not about any of that. It's the Hispanics are voting the same way that any other voter would vote, which is that, the issues that matter to them today, now, which is the kitchen table issues. If tomorrow, like, Trump came back or whatever, trust me, it'll all go the other way. You know what I mean? Like, it isn't about not every election goes the way that, you on a party line vote. And that's really the surprising sort of story of the last, I don't know, 10, maybe 12 years of US elections. Voters go the way that they want to go, not that the way that, it's not, Obama being defeated in the House multiple times wasn't because of racism. It was because they didn't like his policies. Same thing with Trump. Hey, whatever you want to say, like media, Trump's own tweets, 2018 loss was because people didn't like what the Republicans were doing. And the same thing for 2020. It was a referendum on COVID. And if COVID hadn't happened, maybe Trump would have sneaked out a victory. Who knows? And so this isn't about, democracy, and voters don't care. Most voters are like moviegoers. They want to watch explosions. They want to watch a superhero win the girl. So whoever they think is winning on the issue, that's who they're going to vote for. Thank you. That's my TED Talk.
Okay, so but I mean, a lot of people are very skeptical this time around. They have their guard up. One of the things that we've been seeing float around through various corporate media outlets is this idea that the results are not going to be determined on election night, unlike prior elections, right? Except for 2020. But
that's really annoying to me.
It's very annoying, but also it almost seems kind of coordinated, because if they were going to do any form of cheating, that's how they would get it done, is by basically delaying it as much as they possibly can. And then,
the Democrats and the progressives
disappear.
Yeah, these Democrats and progressives can spin it any way they want. I think any voter, and I keep tweeting about the Indian elections because in India, people have gone through this. 50 years of India's independence, or India's, existence as a country, was marked by, thugs and goons stealing ballot boxes and stuffing them. And once you've stuffed a ballot box, that's where the term comes from. Once you've stuffed a ballot box, you don't know which vote is real, which one's from the bad guys. You know what I mean? In terms of if somebody's selling a ballot box, so you have to count it. And so then that's how they would win. And so India in 2004, so almost 20 years ago, instituted a electronic voting system, so you could count the votes immediately. You could still demand recounts. You could still do those kind of like paper, there was a paper trail and everything. But India went through this for 50 years. And at some point, the entire country went, you know what? No, forget it. We're just going to vote electronically for every election. And that way the votes are counted. Most of the votes, like 90% of the votes, are counted on that day once the polls close. And so I think I get it. Look, this is a free country and all of that. Every state has their own system. We don't have a national election commission.
And for good reason, too.
I wouldn't even want one, because it would immediately get captured by the progressives, and, all kinds of votes systems would be initiated. But I think any voter, any normal, not somebody who's been educated to believe, indoctrinated into some of these things, any voter would say, you vote on the day that you vote. Or, there in India, there's phases. So you have this window. These days are yours to vote because the people are there. The polling booth is there. You have one day to vote. You count the vote, and then you give people specific deadlines. We're going to count the votes by this time, and we're going to have the votes done in by this time. Beyond that, it's all up in the air. And I think also this thing for the Republicans, where they're trying to delay the counting of the votes in Arizona, I don't agree with that either. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think we should be playing into this kind of behavior as well, just because the other side is. There should be just one day, or whatever it is, fixed day to vote and a fixed day of counting. Beyond that, all bets are off.
Also, on top of that, all of a lot of states, I don't know if every state has this, but the early voting period has extended more and more. You have it's almost impossible to not take time out of your schedule, unless you're literally stuck in the hospital, to not go and vote. Unless you're Jay and you're lazy as shit and you simply just cannot get off your
in the realm of sorry to interrupt you. In the realm of futurism, we're moving to this national ID system, right? We're about to get digital IDs or whatever. You'll be able to drive around the country with your driver's license in your phone. So in that realm, if there is a possibility that people's votes are being sent in early, but those votes are this is tied to a real person, tied to whatever level of, you know, crypto or blockchain, whatever you want to call it. If there's a way to verify that somebody who's voting is a real person and that they're able to send in that vote, I'm totally fine with it. But then again, all votes must be in by election day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't you can't keep it going after election day. Then there's no election day.
No, I think that's fucked up. Yeah, I mean, anything that comes in after election day should not be counted. It's it. After election day ends, whatever is counted is what the fucking vote is, and that's it.
Yeah,
no more afterwards.
And it'll be hilarious. I'll say it right now, it'll be hilarious because the Republicans, we do, you know, people don't understand this. We do have smart lawyers on our side. Once our guys figure this out, the Democrats will be the first ones yelling about, you know, election fraud being extended. And like, trust me, we'll figure it out. We got smart people on our side. We got people who argue in front of the Supreme Court. This will be challenged, or it'll be challenged so that one day it will benefit us. And then that's when they'll cut it off. They'll be like, oh yeah, no, 1 day, 1 vote.
So one of the things that happened, that one of the stories along the lines of the lawyers that Democrats have brought in, Mark Elias is fucking Mark Elias, hired by the Fetterman campaign to basically challenge. Do you remember, Anang, what was exactly that was? It was something along the lines of, fuck, it's escaping me now.
The redistricting, because he was part of that. The New York State redistricting stuff. Is that what you're talking about for Elias?
Well, Elias hired Fetterman. I'm sorry, Mark Elias was hired by Fetterman's campaign to basically file a lawsuit over undated mail-in ballots.
Right.
Fucking shoot me.
Yeah, it's all. See, this is the thing. I want to keep it to like the 10,000-foot view, which is, look, you can say whatever you want. Hey, this helps underrepresented communities, whatever. Like, whatever case you want to make it. The simple fact is that there will be a lot of people who will simply just view this as, I wouldn't even say illegitimate, but there's something funky going on. You're just like, you can't have all these weird things happening where your votes are being counted later, or like your, you know, stuff's coming in even after election day, and think that that's not going to affect people's perception of how an election is. And like I said, we don't have an election commission in America. Every state has their own systems. So it's incumbent more than ever here than other countries that the election process look as smooth as possible rather than the other way around. And that's my, I just don't think they're going to be able to, you know, get that going in more than a couple of states. Like, you just can't do that. So, and I think that some of the work, I mean, again, without going into the whole 2020 stuff, I think post 2020, a lot of Republican states and attorney generals and lawyers just realized that this is not the way to do it. And so that some of that has been fixed, but I think it'll take probably one more cycle for it to like come back down.
I'm wondering, I mean, like, obviously I wouldn't put a whole lot of the blame on Amy Coney Barrett, but she definitely played sort of a pretty significant role in the lead up to the 2020 election when she recused herself in a case that got deadlocked and went back down to the state, back down to Pennsylvania, over the extension of, that is looking like a very good shot, sir. A very good shot.
Cheers.
We are doing cheers, sir. Oh,
cheers.
Whistle pig.
This is the one
Whistle pig. You're drinking it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
No, I was just going to say Amy Coney Barrett could have stopped a lot of the chaos, especially in Pennsylvania, had she simply not recused herself and ruled the way that her conservative, or I would say originalist colleagues in the Supreme Court would have ruled. It's very disappointing to see that.
See, this is like one of those late stage democracy kind of situations we're entering, because a lot of the problems that we're dealing with are essentially what happens when you have unfettered 100% unfettered democracy. Not democracy, even freedom. So the idea that, like, you know, who cares? We can just keep the election challenges going, and we can just keep the system, you know, working the way that we want it to, rather than the way that it should. And I think that's this is like, again, I'm talking like an uncle at this point. It's like the real problem with the country, or the crisis that we have, is that everybody thinks they can get away with it. And sadly, that's the problem is we've, you know, if Trump can be president, you can do whatever you want. So everybody thinks they can get away with it. And that sort of allows for people to, you know, the story that's told very often is Richard Nixon knew that that there was election stealing being done in Illinois when he was running for president in 1960. and he decided that it was better for the country to go through a smoother, transition process rather than him having to challenge the election and having it become even more toxic. So that to me is like, the back in the day. I mean, it was hurtful to Nixon. I mean, he could have become president 10 years earlier. He became president in 1969. It was almost a decade-long slog, for him to come back. So that kind of morality is not there anymore. It's always like, no. This goes again to people like Youngkin and DeSantis. Now, I think DeSantis could be president. I know people are trying to get Youngkin to win. And it's like, look, just run the state. Can you just at least do one term? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't go for the prize immediately just because people think you can.
Yeah, it's almost like that whole bit. I think Obama really kneecapped a lot of Democrats because he almost jumped the gun way too soon in terms of running and winning the presidency. Basically, there was no crop of Democratic figures after him that could even touch sort of like his standing. It's kind of like Trump, although Trump is much older. Everybody's using Trump and Obama as sort of like that measuring stick of getting back to those days of almost what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, cult-like following.
For sure. It's also like there's who comes after Biden, right? That's the question. Yeah, who comes after?
Kamala
Devi. Who comes after Biden? Who comes after Biden? Because this is the other problem that Obama sort of set up, is that more so than this election, the multiple defeats, the year after year after year defeats in the House and in the state houses by the Democrats. Now, obviously, they clawed their way back, but those defeats have created a generation gap, and this is why you have the AOC wing, and then you have the Bernie people and the Biden people. That's also a big problem in the years to come, is who comes after Biden, who's going to win. It's not going to be AOC. I can tell you that much. She might run for president, but the Democrats are in for a huge generational issue. I mean, I'm sure they'll find someone, but that's also something to be considered after this election's over, which is tonight. That who is the nominal leader in the Democrat Party that's not Joe Biden? And it's not Joe Biden either. He's being led around the nose by the left wing. So
Giselle Fetterman.
Oh God.
100%.
Essentially.
When Linda,
we gotta you could stick around for a few minutes, right?
Oh, absolutely. When Linda McMahon was running for Senate, the joke was that this was all a WWE plot by Vince McMahon to have her be killed right when she became senator, right when she became senator, so that Vince McMahon could enter the Senate. That was a joke bit. This is a WWE plot. This is pretty much what Giselle Fetterman's kind of doing, is she's just pushing along her husband, and she'll just enter the Senate as the big boss. Very sad.
Very sad indeed. I see some of the Habibis talking about what's happening over on Rex Chapman's feed. Let's just go take a little quick gander over at it.
Big cope.
A lot of copium happening right now from Rex Chapman, tweeting out fucking Rand Paul, fucking Ron DeSantis, fucking Marco Rubio. Our democracy is absolutely positively fucked. Then we got to drink because he said democracy. Or do we got to finish our drink because he said democracy is fucked?
No, drink.
Yeah, we got to.
I'm having
Jay, let's not finish our drinks because we got to actually stream for another. I can finish this one because this is almost done.
Well,
yeah,
you're drinking water.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, yes, Jay, I will take the hit.
So I'm enjoying a beautiful mezcal from Mexico, not one of the shitty brands that they have now. And I'm also enjoying the Whistle Pig, and I've also got. I mean, I can't, you can't not have gold label. Johnny Walker.
Gold label.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker. This is actually
Johnny
really
Walker.
Funny. This is actually just all the amount of cope coming.
The
from
copium
Rex
is
Chapman.
off the chain. Yeah,
I love it.
I
had to look on Ernie's. Oh, go ahead.
These Twitter people who are super online and are just constantly coping with Elon or whatever's happening. I get it. I get that you have a blue check and you're the celebrity and all of that. I just always wonder if it's I guess I was saying WWE. I always wonder if it's a bit, if it's a character that they're playing, because some of these people, they'd be hilarious. What's her name? Your Bay, over there, Washington Post. What's her name?
That's exactly why I'm here.
Yeah, Washington Post
right,
Day.
Right as soon as I get done, I'm going in for my cleaning.
Like if it was a character she was playing for like years, like this is like an Andy Kaufman bit, you know what I mean? Like she comes home and just like, oh God, I'm so tired of playing this fake conservative bit. Like if that was true, like that would be hilarious, but it's not. Like these people are for real. Like they are who they say they are, and that's what they appear to be. That's the saddest part, is like all of us have some level of what would you call it? Like self-consciousness, self-level of like, whatever I'm saying on Twitter is like for fun. And these people are just like, holy shit, you actually believe this. What's wrong with you?
Man. So let's see here. Are we seeing any like big Democratic victories? Oh yeah, Gretchen Whitmer defeats Tudor Dixon. Abigail Spanberger apparently wins re-election in Virginia. Although we all thought that she was going to lose. I think, was it Spanberger who basically ran against, basically ran on the platform of criticizing Joe Biden? Or was it Luria? I'm trying to remember.
No, it was Spanberger. She was on that conference call where she was like, I don't want to hear the word woke ever again, this and that. And she was talking about like all the stuff that the far left Dems were leaning hard into. So it kind of makes a little bit of sense. If this is like a corrective election, then yeah, like she can probably win because she can play to that middle, the moderate independents a lot better than the far left Dems. And that's really like Ben Domenech had a great he got called out by AOC today, but his analysis is absolutely right, is that most of the party is going to the far left and they're not going to stop. And so people like Spanberger are going to be like the bright sort of little islands who can like survive this coming, onslaught from
the next Joe Manchin, really.
Yeah, like the Joe Manchins and the cinemas are the ones who are going to survive this, which is again hilarious because for the last almost since Obamacare, there's been this call of like, what happened to the Blue Dog Democrats, and they might be coming back, and that's actually probably a good thing. So it's not all is not lost. Sorry to be like a party pooper.
I don't, Spencer, are you saying you sending messages about DeSantis being ahead by 20 points, 59.4 to 39.9?
Yeah, and another point somebody mentioned, Val Demings spent $73 million. Well, she raised $73 million.
She kept 69 of it.
She probably did. But like, that's like the level of craziness that's happening with like these kind of things where people think that, Rubio's defeatable. In what world? Like, no.
Florida got more red, not less.
Yeah. I mean, as long as, and the thing is like, we still have it where you can donate from anywhere in the country to any person you want. Those donations don't count as votes. They don't. And I honestly think like there should be like restrictions on that. If you don't live in that district or you don't live in that state, you shouldn't be able to contribute to those campaigns, because it's not going really to it's not really showing the popularity of that person or like that person's actually going to win or anything like that at all.
I don't know, Jay. I feel like that's a limitation.
It's a good point, but that's a First Amendment issue that would get defeated immediately because you're.
No, I understand that. Yeah, but no, because like your money and your voice can go anywhere you want and all that kind of stuff and everything. But I really think that we're pouring too much of these funds into losing elections, into candidates have no chance. I mean, where else is that money going to?
There should be some kind of, again, going into the futuristic thing of like, it's not going to happen because there's the money's too important to too many important people. Like if you could do like a blockchain kind of a thing, like where you follow your money through like the system of like, I donated to the RNC and like, oh, then that blockchain went to like a Florida campaign or like somebody that I specifically designated it go to, like, but obviously instead of doing that, you should just donate to the candidate directly or, kind of a thing. So, Trump's got a huge war chest as well. So it would be hard. It would be hard to get that bill passed because both sides would be like, no way.
Yeah, no, we love the money too much to keep to ourselves in our own camps and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And the candidates then love to like support other candidates, that kind of.
Quick news break. We got It's very nice. 69% reporting in Georgia, according to the AP. In the Georgia Senate race, Herschel Walker currently leads Raphael Warnock by 1.1%. It's looking like it's going to be heading for a runoff. Of course, anything could happen then.
That's retarded. Runoffs
I don't
are
like.
retarded.
I think that I hate the runoff rule. It's terrible.
I don't
It's
understand
horrible,
this
yeah.
fucking runoff rule. Like, it's fucking retarded as shit.
But even then, if you look at the governor's race, Brian Kemp 9 points ahead over Stacey Abrams with 70% reporting. I think I don't think the AP called the race for Brian Kemp, but it's pretty much a sure bet that he's going to get that.
So we're going to get another 2 years of election denialism from Abrams, and her posted up as like the face of voter suppression and shit that's coming out of Georgia.
It's just amazing. I mean, the more I think about it, and just kind of like basing my suspicions on what we saw in Georgia 2 years ago versus what we're seeing now. How many votes did Biden win Georgia by? Do you remember? Was it like 10,000? Anyone?
I don't know the exact amount, but I know it wasn't. It was less than what Stacey Abrams was stating election denialism on.
Yeah. Anang, any bold predictions you have before we let you go?
I would say I'm hoping this is not even a prediction; it's more of a hope. I'm hoping 40 seats at least.
In the House.
In the House, yeah.
Nice.
69 seats would be nice.
69 seats would be very nice. Anang Bhai, thank you so much for joining us, sir. Well, before we let you go, quick toast.
Always a pleasure.
Chug.
Always a pleasure.
Very good. Very good. Mashallah beta. Anang Bhai, you can find him on Twitter at Anang Bhai.
See you guys.
Peace out, sir.
Habibi.
Jay, let's tune into some election coverage and get shit-faced until our next guest comes on. Does Spencer want to bring that up? Any day now, Spencer. He probably completely forgot he was running that. He probably closed out. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
I am sauced, Habibi. I am nice and sauced. Like, I just opened this. I just opened it.
My God,
and we haven't really been playing the drinking game.
We've been pretty bad at playing the drinking game. That's why
I know. I've just been drinking
it right now. I've just been drinking too. I'm hoping that the audience for sure has been playing the drinking game, because we sure as shit have been doing a terrible job of it, and probably for good reason, to save our livers and our sanity. But let's go ahead and watch a little.
Latinos, very important. It was projected that 1 in 5 voters in this midterm election would be Latino. Here in Nevada, Catherine Cortez.
That's Latinx.
Elected.
Yeah, I can't believe
Culinary
it.
Workers Union.
And from the
they had
and
60,000 people out knocking on doors. They projected to knock on about 1 million doors during this campaign to try and get those Democrats out to vote. So that's what she has going for her. And she told me she plans to keep that Latino vote. Now, Republicans only need a small portion of that to make a difference, because things are so close. And then, of course, there's the nonpartisans coming into the election. 1/3 of registered voters in Nevada, almost 1/3, were nonpartisan, Tom.
Interesting. Well, Laxalt co-chaired President Trump's presidential campaign back in 2020. Biden carried Nevada by 2 points, but the pandemic hit the state hard.
You got to
Gas
drink.
prices
Jay.
are higher than
It's
average
Trump.
there.
You gotta.
Important factors in this election?
Just a sip.
Very
It's just a
important.
sip,
We've
though,
been
Jay.
talking to
Just a
voters
sip.
for months, and these are two of the things they always bring up. Money issues, inflation. Add to that the cost of housing in a place like Nevada. But in the more recent weeks, they've also brought up abortion. Abortion rights being very important to a lot of the Democrats and also the nonpartisans. Catherine Cortez Masto has been focusing on campaigning on that issue, while her Republican challenger, Adam Laxalt, has been blaming her and the Democrats for all of these economic problems that the working class in Nevada has been facing. But it's going to be up to those nonpartisans, Tom, because these are the voters we've been speaking to over the last few months, and they tell us they care about all of these issues. Now, what changes in Nevada between your nonpartisans, Republicans, and Democrats is who they blame for the issues, because everyone is facing the same issues. They just blame different people. It's going to come down to see what the nonpartisans decided. Did the Democrats sway them their way to keep supporting their current leadership? Or did the Republicans convince a lot of these nonpartisans to want change? Another thing they have mentioned over and over again, they would like to see a candidate who wins and also focuses on bipartisanship to work across the aisle. Tom?
All right, thank you, Guad Venegas.
I fucking
who's
hate
in Nevada
election
for us.
night
We'll have
coverage,
much more
Jay.
real-time
It's just
results
all
and
the same
analysis
shit.
through the rest of the evening.
All I want to see
Now,
is a bunch of
to
coke. Can we
rejoin
switch over to
NBC special
CNN?
coverage.
CNN probably.
Yeah, let's
is
see what
gonna be a
CNN
little
is
bit
going
better.
on.
Let's see what CNN's have. While Spencer works on that, we're gonna just hang for a bit. I think we got our next guest coming on in just a few. Let's go over the locals live chat, the premium live chat. Which, if you want to join in, that takes priority basically over every chat. If you want to go ahead and tune in and get your questions in, go ahead and support us on locals. There's a link in the description of the video. Roy Metzger says, pour one out for brothers in Georgia who will have to deal with campaign ads for another 2 months. That's fucking brutal. Anal Schwab says Latinx win it all, except if your name is Robert Francis Beto O'Rourke. Oh, we got our Habibi, Los Bibi up in the Behizy. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
You're supposed to say wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum salam.
There you
How
go.
you doing, buddy?
Love it.
Cheers.
Are you wearing a Washington commie shirt?
I'm wearing a no pressure, no diamond shirt.
Oh.
Throwback from the old days with RG3.
Oh, that was an RG3 hype shirt.
Yeah, it was.
That's interesting because it's Adidas, and was that before? Hold on.
No, he's sponsored by Adidas, so that's why.
He was sponsored by Adidas. Okay, man, RG fucking 3. He's retired already and married to another white girl. It's crazy. That
Weird
brother's
shit.
living.
Weird shit.
You can all follow Carlos on Twitter at
Chicago.
What?
Just Chicago. That
Chicago.
Chicago. That's how you say it.
Is it? So that's Texas Locatu.
It's actually Basque for tweeter.
There's an actual word in Basque for tweeter.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a Chateau Capdet. It's a Bordeaux.
You're so bougie.
I know. Sorry, I can't help it.
My girl Jennifer Rubin here at Washington Post headquarters is drinking a nice brut. Leaving that bad boy in the fridge.
Not champagne. Wow, she's pretty poor.
She's quite classy. She's a classy woman.
Hmm.
Los, thanks so much for joining us. It's the last time we had you on. You were literally facilitating the funneling of billions of taxpayer dollars to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky in your trip to Ukraine. Can you tell us a little bit more about your meeting with him?
Well, it was interesting. I had to look down at him when I met him, but it was literal palace of cash.
But you actually had practice by meeting with Jay, right?
I did. That's correct.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was like meeting a brother with Zelensky. So a little bit more hair than Jay, but little different language. And he's Jewish, so he was circumcised. But so yeah.
All right, hold on. Jewish people, just like Muslims, are circumcised.
You're putting out misinformation, Jay?
No, I am. Look,
hold on. Are these the same misinformation? Got a drink.
Against my will.
Yes.
I like how it got really silent right now. We all know that Jewish boys and Muslim boys are circumcised against their will.
Either way, it's come on Jay's face regardless.
I mean, you can always come on my face.
It's true. Okay.
Or I can come into your country and give you billions of dollars.
One or the other.
Too.
Billions. How much oil I got?
But
Lebanon is now said to have a lot of oil, so I think all of our financial troubles are going to be freedomized by Patriot missiles.
Yes, and actually, so this is actually a pretty good segue because back then, I feel when I was at the border, there was a lot of support here domestically for Ukraine and all that shit. Now it's I think it's lower than 50% at this point. So the results tonight could probably determine how much, or if anything, is going to be sent over there again. Which will be that'll be interesting because I know and something that's bothering me about Ukraine is that if there's any questioning or if there's any doubt or any diminishing of aid, Ukraine gets really hostile, which I've noticed. Like the whole, Elon Musk proposing a peace solution. He got basically told, fuck you, even though he's the one providing all the Starlink for free.
Mm-hmm. And then he pulled the plug on that because he wanted the Pentagon to start paying for it.
Yeah. But he's like, oh, okay, whatever. I guess I'll just pay it forever.
And then he bought Twitter to make the Pentagon really pay because obviously.
Well, we just got in.
What?
Vance actually
JD
has overtaken Tim Ryan right now in the Ohio Senate race.
Oh, interesting. I actually have it on. So I have a screen behind here that with NBC, and it was interesting to see Chuck Todd. There's something that kind of was recently interesting, and I'm not sure if because following up with Anang is a hard gig. But
which is exactly why we did it because fuck you, Los.
At least someone will. But he was saying how when he would comment on early Republican leads, he would say, "Oh well, don't worry, there's a gap here, but it'll be caught up by late blue votes." But on the other hand, on the flip side, whenever there would be an early Dem lead, he would just be like, "Yeah, no, it'll be there. The lead will still be there." I'm like, how does that work? Is it literally because of mail-in ballots? Because I thought they counted those first, or at early votes, I guess maybe. But I always found it interesting to hear that it only happens on one side and not the other. I don't know.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you not hear me at all?
I'm totally fucking with you.
And you know what? Because of that, you know what I want to ask? I want to ask Donald Trump's definition of democracy with regards to misinformation.
If you're trying to figure out what the rules of this drinking game tonight.
Also, I said democracy, Donald Trump, and misinformation. So you got to take 3 drinks, motherfucker.
Fuck.
That's 2. That's 3. You don't get any more. That's it. We're almost 69 minutes into the stream. So Beto O'Rourke is done. Stacey Abrams done.
Shame.
What are the chances they run for president?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I was telling someone that when Beto O'Rourke, when they give him a bowl of SpaghettiOs, it's all L's.
Yeah.
But he'll still run because they keep putting these people out there and they keep like throwing money at them and just hoping that somehow, some way it'll stick. And Stacey Abrams will still be in the public square. So will Beto O'Rourke.
I mean, you're going to see so much election denialism coming from that camp. I mean, they're going to blame voter suppression, even though we had record turnout and it beat 2020 by a shitload, and also 2021. And they're still going to claim voter suppression. You're going to still have fucking MSNBC and CNN anchors just like nod their heads to them, say yes, you're totally right, all this fucking shit. Because as long as they say like it's white supremacist racism, you can deny the election all day long.
Oh yeah, and they've been setting the stage for that for weeks, and we saw that.
Oh yeah, and also we have Walker beating out Warnick. Is it Warnick?
Warnock.
Warnick. Yeah, we have that happening. So where are they going to claim white supremacy there?
Well, it's because he's a tool of white supremacy.
Right. He's not really black, you know. He's not really African American.
Right. He is just, you know, he's
an Uncle Tom, basically.
He's black adjacent.
They'll call him an Uncle Tom.
That's what it is.
Robert Sherman this is like over an hour ago, but apparently Maricopa County, it's reported that Maricopa County in Arizona says they expect to have 99% of their ballots counted here by Friday.
By Friday?
By Friday. It's Tuesday night.
So fucked
you
up.
don't need 3
That's
days.
So fucked up.
And that's another thing.
And today, no matter what, if they still have votes that haven't been counted, today ends it. That's it. Whatever is counted today by 12 a.m. is done.
That's my problem with the whole these past few weeks of saying, oh, if it takes so long, it takes longer. That's normal. I'm like, normal since when? 2020 because of COVID? Never before have I seen anyone be okay with counting votes for weeks.
Carlos, it's almost like it's by design.
What?
Boom.
By design.
You don't have to drink to that, Jay. We've already fine, we will. Okay. So we got you on for a few more minutes. Any bold predictions that you want to make for this hypothetical midterm election that we are obviously denying that is ever happening?
Yeah. I know they're saying that Oz is underperforming. I'm going to say he's going to win.
You think? Well, here's the thing, and
that's my bold. That's my bold. That's like
that's a bold prediction, and I respect it, but I will just say, it sounds like.
Unless they called it already, in that case, they retract.
Yeah, they just called it.
Oh, they did. They did.
No, they didn't call it. They didn't call it. No, I think it's too early.
Because that would be hilarious. It's like actually they just called it. So
yeah, right when you said that, you're dead fucking wrong.
Actually, you're wrong.
No, it looks like Fetterman. Oh God, fucking A. Dr. Oz is down 4 points in. Yeah, he's down like 3-4 points in Pennsylvania to Giselle Fetterman. It's looking bad. It's looking really bad.
Dude, actually, you know what? I will say, despite Fetterman's flaws, he does have a good golf game.
I wouldn't know.
Did you know that? Did you guys know that? Did either of you guys know that?
Golf itself doesn't make sense.
No, he does. And you know why? Because his stroke game is fantastic.
I was literally about to say it has to be his stroke game. That's the only thing I could think of. Oh man! So, do you think Republicans take the Senate then?
I think how many do they need? They need like 2, 3, I think, to take.
3 out of the 4 toss-ups?
I think they can. I think that it'll probably be like 51.
Yeah.
But I think they can. Definitely the House. The House is that.
The House is Nancy could get hammered at home.
Don't tell Rex Chapman that. But yeah.
Oh my God! All right, Habibi. Well, Los, we appreciate you joining us. Obviously, Texas Locado. You can find him on Twitter. at Texas Locado. Looking forward to you joining the PEG session here at the Washington Post newsroom with me and my gal Jen Rubin.
I'll be there.
Inshallah.
Just text me the deets later.
I will.
All right.
All right, Habibi. You be good.
All right. See you guys.
Peace. Masalama.
Masalama.
All right. That's Carlos Chaves. You all know and love. We already have our next guest. He's been sitting here in the waiting room just waiting for us to bring him in, but we didn't want to bring him right in the middle of this because we prefer he come between us, and that is our boy Michael Russo.
Hey,
who has now been suspended on Twitter, so you can only find him at GainTrust_US.
Let's
going
go.
on, Michael?
Let's go, Habibi. I'm just following in Jay's footsteps. Let's go.
And to get banned under Elon Musk, that's my goal right now. And you're already one up in me. That's fucking awesome.
I've impressed one person. Okay, good.
So now that you're banned, how does it feel to be in the ranks of Kathy Griffin in the throes, her loving embrace?
I don't know. It feels good. It feels good. I've been drinking. Okay, so I was on a previous stream and we've been drinking, and so just go keep this questions really simple. How do I feel? No. How do I feel about being in league with Kathy Griffin? I mean, it's an honor. Honestly, it really is.
That's good.
Yeah.
We always knew you were a lib.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah. I mean, so how's the night going? I mean, are the predictions going as we think?
How the fuck are you asking questions? We're the ones supposed to be asking questions, Michael.
All I do. That's all I do all the time. I have my own stream. I'm used to.
I know you do. No, you have a nice setup there. When we had you on for the 2020 election night,
all right, it
coverage.
was like off of your iPhone or something.
Yeah, straight up.
Oh boy.
Oh man. No, things seem to be going okay. I mean, I'm waiting to see what type of challenges are going to be called outside of Pennsylvania. There's already one in which John Fetterman is trying to get, or at least the campaign's trying to get, undated mail-in ballots counted. Which, come on, we all know.
Yeah,
we all know.
Is this Philly? There. Is this Philly that you're talking about specifically?
I don't know if it's Philly proper, but that whole city, if in the words of Dave Chappelle, if North Korea nukes us, I hope Philadelphia is the first city to go.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
I'm so glad. I don't like the Houston Astros, but the only saving grace is the fact that the Phillies lost the World Series. That's it. It's it.
We need to return Philly to the Italians, I think.
I don't know. I feel like that right there is for you, Michael, as an Italian. If anything, just give it to Jersey.
Yeah, just give it exactly. Give it to Jersey. You titillate Jersey between you have the biggest city in the world and then you have Philly over here. You have New York City and you have Philly. We're just stuck in between, and we get we're the armpit of both. So we have the smelly, afterbirth of New York and the same. And it's the two. It's funny because it's the two worst cities on record for a long time. I don't know, maybe. A lot of cities are competitive these days, but it used to be Camden and Newark were the two worst places in New Jersey, in the country, and it's those are the two. I'm sandwiched between the two of them, but I'm in a nice part of New Jersey for anybody who's wondering. But no, but New Jersey's got that problem.
Trenton, right?
Trenton as well. Yeah, Trenton's not good either.
The nicest part of Jersey is Trenton. So Michael, since we last had you on 2 years ago,
I put on 10 pounds of muscle.
I mean, that's sign for all of us to take our shirts off right now.
He took 10 pounds of muscle and he took it all from his. It all moved just from his dick and balls.
Let's go. Game trust it.
Let's go. Hey, Jay, speaking of gain trust, you need to sign up, motherfucker.
Yeah, I do.
Oh my God. Michael, so things have not been going great for me the last couple of weeks. I haven't gotten to the gym. I don't know what happened. This happens every time.
I've been sick for 2 weeks. That's what's happened to me. I've been sick for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
I haven't done anything.
2 weeks to slow the curve, Jay. And it's been about 2 years now. 2 weeks to slow the curve. It's been 2 fucking years. I just wanted to point out I am drinking out of a very fancy glass. I'm living with my parents.
Yes, you are. That is a fancy glass. What are you drinking?
This is it's just a Maker's Mark, guys. I go with the classics.
Okay.
Pretty
good.
classic. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What are you
What are you gonna do?
You know what I'm saying?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing.
It's gabagool.
Gabagool. Yes, Michael, Emily and I have been learning a lot about your state by watching Sopranos.
Well, you're gonna say my people.
Your people over the last few weeks by watching Sopranos.
Oh boy.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do about it? Really? At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, what are you going to do? John Fetterman actually did dip below 50%, according to Rory Metzger. If you go with 60% reporting in Pennsylvania, Fetterman is at 49.7, and Mehmet Oz is at 47.9. And every single time, you got to think about the fucking libertarian candidates who come in, just ruin everything. Just look at, we wouldn't have a runoff in Georgia if it weren't for the libertarian candidate. Let's look at this quick tally, okay? We got 49.5% for Herschel Walker, 48.6% for Raphael Warnock. Mind you, they need 50%. They need to pass 50% in order to completely avoid a runoff. And what happens? What's happening right now with Chase Oliver, the Libertarian Party candidate? 1.9%. They could have literally. Fucking A. I hate libertarians so much, man.
Yeah, and the libertarians apparently in Arizona, he bowed out, thankfully. Where was that candidate during last election when it mattered? Well, it matters now too, but I just found out about that today, actually, that the Arizona Libertarian bowed out. If you're a libertarian and you don't have a Green Party alternative, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just throwing it at that point.
Yeah,
I mean, right? Fuck libertarians.
Libertarians, Green Party, literally all of them.
I mean,
they should
imagine being scared of roads. Imagine.
That's a good way. That's a good encapsulation.
Imagine being so against age of consent laws that you vote for libertarians.
Right.
Exactly.
Fuck.
Bring Sharia now.
We really need it.
Yes.
We need it on the ballot, inshallah.
Yeah. Hey, Jay. Jay is short for Jason, correct? Otherwise, I feel like I don't know.
No, it's short
Jason
for
Briggs.
I'm not comfortable with that. Those Arab kind of names.
It's Mujahid. It's short for Mujahid.
Jason Briggs.
Wait a second. You're you're one of those Arabs?
Yeah, I am.
I can't.
I'm white as fuck, but I'm one of those Arabs.
I don't know what to say.
You can see right
I don't know what to say. I've been trained to be shut up. You're not allowed to make jokes like that. So I'm all uncomfortable now. Anyway.
No, you can. But I have my name in Arabic with a peach right here.
Dude, you had the funniest tweet today of the eating ass kind. It was like that. It was that chocolate cake, and you had the kid Matilda. I was in the shower laughing at that fucking tweet.
Well, were you reading your? You just saw the tweet, and then you were in the shower thinking about the tweet at random. Was it like you were scrolling through your phone in the shower? Michael, you're not that terminally online. You don't have that much brain damage, at least from being on Twitter.
I'm from New Jersey, motherfucker. I have that amount of brain damage, motherfucker.
I respect it. Back and retweet it right now.
It was good.
A good one. And then I also had the Twin Towers and Osama bin Laden as one of them as well.
Ending democracy. The Twin Towers are democracy.
I really wish I could have gotten in on that.
Perfect. There were so many funny ones today, besides outside of you guys.
Oh yeah, they were great.
Like
All
so
of them
many
were
really funny
good.
ones.
No, one of them was Carlos did one of them where it's my ballot in democracy was a brain in Fetterman.
Nice. I like that. Oh,
It's
I
so
can't
good.
remember them now, but they're
good.
so funny. I thought one of them was very dad jokey, but it was like, oh, they didn't have fascism on the ballot. I had to write it in. Damn it! Like, I thought that was good.
Oh man, that's good. I love it. I love it. So I have been asking every single guest this tonight, Michael. If there was any bold prediction you had to make tonight, what would it be?
I don't know if it's bold, but I think Walker's going to win. And I think, you know what? Last time you asked me for a bold prediction, Trump lost.
But what was your bold prediction?
I said he's going to win it big time.
Well, hold on, Michael. He did win. He did.
I agree. I agree with
because
you and your wife.
Yeah, look.
Wait. Did they call it for JD Vance?
I think so. Look,
let's go.
You don't have to be a brain rocket scientist to realize that given how they treated my wife, that was pretty much the tell right there that I know they fucking cheated.
What radicalized you? You did. You harassed your wife. Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. Hey, question, guys. Did you have Gurdusky on? I mean, I know he's probably a busy man now, but with the JD thing, but
oh, we didn't. I did. We try to keep it kind of light in terms of guests tonight.
Okay.
But maybe we'll get Gurdusky on in the future because we want to just torture our audience with him.
Yeah, right. I mean, the most hated guest that we had on H was Ryan. The most,
and he's not a bad guest. It's just that everybody hates him.
But everyone hated him. Like,
I think your audience moved towards his politics in the last year because I remember it was about a year
really
ago.
Funny.
Yeah,
we'd have to get him back on just to test that theory out. Go back and watch old episodes of Ryan Gurdusky being on Habibi Power Hour.
Yeah,
and then discover that, now they all think. All of the Habibis now think like Ryan Gurdusky.
He proved that he's actually extremely competent and
Oh, I love Ryan. Ryan's the reason why I got a start in actual corporate media, despite me hating corporate media. He is the reason why, because he's the one who vouched for me hard to get it to the Washington Examiner, which is now a Cuck publication.
I agree. Yeah, but no, he's a great guy and he loves you and he's great. It's just that I just think it's funny because I always thought we us and our friends would be beat up on each other and him included. But it's like at the same time, he's like an extremely competent and interesting person,
and he knows a lot of shit.
He does. And and look at his campaign. I mean, Jesus. I mean, he's working on that campaign, right?
Last I heard, he was he was like the consultant for the JD Vance campaign. I think he was quote unquote outed as being a consultant for them, which kind of sucks.
What, did they go to one of his Twitter spaces? I mean,
I don't know actually, but it doesn't look like. I don't know what happened there. Either way, new key governor races. It looks like what's his name, Shapiro in Pennsylvania. What's it called? Josh Shapiro has beaten Doug Mastriano with a current tally right now sitting at, what is it, 60? Oh, nice. 69%.
Oh, nice.
Vote in. Josh Shapiro currently ahead 55% to 43%. Not looking good for Dr. Oz there.
That was another one of my bold positions was that Oz would win as well. I still think he may, but I don't know.
I don't know, man. Pennsylvania is such a shit show. I can't see any Republican getting out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, sad. Well, Pennsylvania is a shit state. The only good thing that ever happened there was that's where Emily and I met. But you know.
Tell us the story.
Okay. And in a few minutes, in the short time I have, we met at a Walmart in Pennsylvania. So romantic. Actually, we had been talking online, like through messages, like online messages ahead of time. We had seen each other around on campus, but we never really got a chance to like formally meet until I ran into her at Walmart. So that's how you knew it was meant to be, right?
And she was like, I am dating this guy despite the fact that he's a shit lib.
And with that, we say thank you, Michael Russo. You can find him on Twitter. He has a currently suspended account, but you can find him on Twitter at GainTrust_US.
I'll be back, motherfuckers.
Elon, get his ass. Get his ass, Elon.
Thank you.
Habibi,
is that the
we'll
end of
see
the
you,
segment?
buddy.
Yes. Okay. Good luck tonight, guys.
Thanks, man. We literally had our next guest sitting in the wings, but maybe he just jumped out of here. So, Jay, we're just gonna rub our nipples for the next minute, maybe.
He saw us shirtless. He was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah. Watch him text me. I'm gonna see him text me and be like, "What the hell am I walking into?"
Fuck, you're fuzzy as shit.
Oh, hell yeah. I respect it. I respect it so much.
Hell
Jay,
yeah.
I need to go pee. You guys want to go throw on some CNN coverage? I'll be right back.
Yeah,
George is here.
He just came back.
Hey, George, what's good? What's good,
Nah,
Habibi?
man, did I just join an orgy party? This
Yeah,
is some
you
Hunter
did.
Biden. Nah, this is some Hunter Biden nonsense. What's going on? Where's the laptop?
Hey, we are the Hunter Bidens of the rational thinking, freedom loving Americans.
See,
exactly
where
where we're at right
I
now.
thought I'd be coming on here. Hey, what's up, Jay? I haven't met you before.
Well, coming is exactly what we do here.
Right off the bat, gotta throw me off. I'm a nice little Christian boy over here. Here's what I'm thinking about now.
Welcome to Islam.
Well, so it's funny. It's funny because I was watching. Why do you do this shirt thing? Why?
So like our
yeah.
audience really, the Habibis who watch, they really hate it. And so we do it because they hate it.
We give the fans what they want.
We give them what they want, and then what they don't want is for us to be shirtless. So we give them that.
Nah, I love that. Well, you picked me at the wrong time because I'm taking L's everywhere, man. All my peoples are losing. New Hampshire just got called. So
for Maggie Hassan?
Yeah. Wait, unless y'all are, is she Muslim?
So I thought the same thing too because Hassan, it's pronounced at least in Pakistan, it's pronounced Hassan. So I was like, oh, she's Muslim, Maggie Hassan. No, it's not like that, unfortunately.
I would say Hussein.
But it's spelled Hassan. There's also it's pronounced how Jay would say ass. Hassan.
Well, Doug Mastriano also lost, so there goes my Christian nationalist dreams.
But there's always opportunity to get your Sharia nationalist dreams through Dr. Oz, right?
Well, Oz is just. Here's my problem with Dr. Oz. He's very inauthentic. He doesn't come off as real. He's a billionaire that owns a bunch of homes. He doesn't even live in Pennsylvania, so voters just don't feel the synergy with him. So I was really skeptical with him in the beginning, but he kind of won me over because he was working hard. Do you think he's actually going to pull it off?
Well, I mean, Giselle Featherman it's looking like a sure bet for her.
Yeah, for her.
Well, the thing on Featherman's neck has a better chance of serving than he does. He's dying tomorrow at some point, man.
Bro,
Right.
It is not looking good for him.
NBC just called it for JD Vance
In Ohio. Yeah, but we knew that.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Republican.
That's a surprising one for me.
Really?
Wait, really?
JD Vance in Ohio.
Yeah, why did you think JD Vance couldn't win that?
Couldn't win that?
Because
or at
it's
least it would be
Ohio.
too close. It's
a
Ohio,
state.
dude.
It's not even a
Ohio's
real
been
state.
red now for
It's
at
not,
least.
it's not even a real state.
That's true too.
Right, and also because Carl is from Ohio.
You're right.
So I thought they were going to fuck that up.
Ohio's not a real state, so +0
true.
to no one.
No one.
I do
gives a
want to
shit
know
about it.
your. I'm taking over the show now, so I'm asking.
Okay,
the
let's see.
questions.
Yeah, George, that's fine. You take over the show.
What do you think's
You're
going
our
on in
like
Arizona?
elections expert here, so just like lay it on us.
Well, what do you think happened in Arizona today?
What do I think happened in Arizona, which has not been called, but is not looking good for Kerry Lake and Blake Masters? Well, what is the Maricopa County said that, or at least it was reported that Maricopa County isn't actually getting the ballots all counted until fucking Friday.
Well, yeah. So here's the funny thing: Brazil has a population of maybe 200 million people. Maybe half of that voted in the recent election. They got their election results in, and we knew who won on that same day. And they had an election 3 weeks before that. So they had this 3-week period where they had to create a whole new election, new ballots everywhere, recalibrate the machines, and somehow a state with 7 million people, which, by the way, not all those people vote, is incapable of calibrating their machines on time. And then it was like 30% of the polling locations in one county alone. And I think that's annoying because it only happened to Republicans. It's not like this is happening in an election that Democrats are about to win and they're favorites to win. So it's really only ever affecting Republicans, and Republicans vote predominantly on election day. So not having extra ballots in a place like Luzerne County, Pennsylvania is only going to be bad for Republicans. They ran out of paper,
100%.
man. How do you run out of paper but have unlimited money to print and send to Ukraine? How does that happen?
It's voter suppression, all of it.
You're right. You're right. Oh, well, also, what do you think about the feds showing up at some of these polling locations and monitoring?
The DOJ or the feds, straight up?
Same thing, right?
I guess that's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it has to be. They're all part. Dude, we all knew the fix was going to be in. And actually, it's interesting. You probably saw these headlines as well and probably commented on it about the this whole idea of that they are normalizing. Oh, it's going to take several days for us to announce if there's a winner or not, because that's where they're going to be doing all the cheating, right?
Yeah. Well, what they mean when they say that is if Republicans are leading, we're going to need a few more seconds and hours and weeks to determine just how many ballots we need to find out of imaginary Chester somewhere to overcome the lead. So, well, it looks like tonight they're doing pretty damn well. Just, Herschel Walker's looking like it's going to be a runoff if it stays like that. New York, apparently the governor's race was close. It's literally, she's destroying Lee Zeldin. It was supposed to be like 47 to Lee and 46 to her. She was supposed to be losing. So they're looking great everywhere somehow. Minnesota and Wisconsin, they're looking strong, especially in those governor's races.
So here was my thought on all this, because I think for sure it's that Republicans will take the House and they'll take the Senate. But the cheating that you see happen is to basically not have it be a red tsunami or even like a full-on red wave, but like a very tempered, a very tame Republican flip to make it look like, oh, you see, like the country's still on the fence here, right? What do you think?
Dude,
I mean, is that something? Do you
I
guys think that's something?
No, that's exactly what I thought. I think Jay might agree with me here. What are you doing with your hand, bro? Come on, man, relax. I'm out here.
Who, me?
Nah, it was moving weird. It was moving like that.
Like
so
that? Was it a motion like that you were worried about?
Nah, look, you better not. You don't stand up because I don't know. I don't know if you have pants on. This,
we never do.
No. Sit down. Sit down. I'm a kid, man. God. All right. You're showing yourself off to minors out here. Okay. So, well, it's interesting you said that.
I need to go use the bathroom real quick.
No, don't stand up. Oh, you do have pants on. Good. All right. He just disappeared into Hades. What's going on?
Yeah, he's actually exactly where democracy has been firebombed.
Oh, that looks like the Capitol on, well, never, because they
on 9/11. That was actually an Al Qaeda painting. That was what they were hoping. That was like the blueprint.
Oh yeah.
Because January 6th happened, we never got to like see it come to fruition, and all of a sudden people were saying January 6th is worse than 9/11. We were this close, Habibi, this close.
Well, Siraj, you did say something very important. I've been thinking about this for weeks. I thought they're just going to give Republicans, because it's really a one-party rule anyways. Well, no, it's a one.
It's a uniparty. Uniparty is a real thing.
Yeah. They're not going to give these radical Republicans their easy wins. They're going to cheat them out of it. They probably have an agreement that Oz wins, but Mastriano loses. I don't know any Pennsylvanian that's voting for Oz, but not Mastriano, especially considering how polarizing midterms usually are, especially being that it's a Biden midterm. This should be like a clean sweep for Republicans. This is a state that voted for Trump by, what was it, 4 points in 2020? I don't know, 2016. Yeah, 2016. So, and then, at all the negatives of the Democrats in the last 4 years, with the inflation, the gas prices, and just everything else, and the lockdowns. People are forgetting Biden became president in 2021, but these states had lockdowns, schools were shut down, parents. Virginia should have been a blueprint for what Pennsylvania should have been tonight. And I think somehow there's an agreement in the uniparty that, the R's can have this one in the Senate, but we'll have the state executive, because that's where the real power comes from. They can have Oz, right? We don't mind sharing the Senate power. It's not like we haven't been doing that for decades upon decades. So I think they're going to give Republicans the House and the Senate, but it's not going to be the kind of win, a lot of these people are predicting. I mean, you're already seeing, Democrat wins in New Hampshire. It was supposed to be a GOP flip. All of a sudden, the 54 seats they could have won is now they could win 53. Blake Masters is down lower than Kelly Lake. He's 39% to someone else, to like Mark Kelly's. He's getting smoked, at least based on the votes that came in so far. They could easily say, well, that's how it was always going to be.
Right.
So they,
and again, and that's just the weird thing about how these things are shaken up, is that you really do think, and again, as the count is coming in, and I'm like hesitant to say like right off the bat that cheating has happened now. It's usually like as the race race is like not called in the days and possibly weeks to come. That's when I start to think, all right, now something suspicious is happening. I can't really say that things are happening. We do have a quick break, news break. It looks like Kathy Hochul, or at least NBC News is reporting that Kathy Hochul has won her not re-election. This is her first ever fucking first election. She has been elected officially as governor of New York. New York is fucking dumb, man. Pennsylvania is done. All of these states get what they fucking deserve. All right. Like in Georgia, and you could
I thought you were playing a news clip. I'm sitting here like I'm waiting.
No, I'm literally telling you this is the news break.
Man,
why would I play clip? I mean, Spencer, if you want to like pull up CNN, Spencer's our producer.
You're right. They deserve exactly what they have coming for them. When you keep voting for things like that, I don't care if you're getting robbed and your car's jacked. I don't care.
You voted for this.
But the thing is, Siraj, you would want New York to do better because they're coming down the Florida.
Absolutely.
And they're running the streets. They're entitled. It's that chick at Starbucks with the Frappuccino Lappuccinos and getting the nuts and almonds mixed together. That's the chick that's going to be in Florida because she's entitled. She has the money. She works a big tech job. She hasn't been laid off yet somehow. So she moves to Florida. You do want New York to do well because that means Florida is safer under Ron DeSantis and you have sanity in your state. I wish my state was like Florida. They called ours as soon as the results dropped. It wasn't even 1%. Colorado was so bonkers. So
yeah,
obvious.
George currently lives in Colorado, which is a godforsaken state filled with sweet marijuana and hills as far as the eye can see, and mountainous titty ranges. Let's listen in on a little bit of CNN coverage while Jay figures out how to pull his schlong out of his pants to actually take a piss.
With the candidates that are changing the way voters
George, you're not drinking tonight because you're a good Christian boy, right?
And there's evidence that as we talked about, as we're looking at
I'm a Donald Trump kind of person.
Now 49.5.
No drinking.
Warnock.
No, you mean you're a Joe Biden kind of person.
And one point, in addition to what Abby said, it's
not
just a matter of the candidates. It's
but also with the brain damage.
If I don't vote for Joe Biden,
a lot of people aren't just voting.
I'm more of a Joe Biden kind of person in that I have brain damage.
Who do I want to be running the U.S. Senate? Do I want the Republicans? Do I want the
I
Democrats?
forgot Chris Wallace existed. What the fuck is he doing?
Well, I'm intrigued. Okay. Can you pause CNN for a second? I have a question.
Spencer, yeah. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
The question is, oh, there he is. He just came out of Hades and, fires all around you. Okay. And Jay, good thing you're here too. So what's going on in Georgia from your perspective? Because Kemp is leading Abrams by a lot. I mean, she's fine with it because she gets to be president of Earth. So
true.
Why don't you think the vote is just going to Herschel Walker?
I think, and that's a very good question. At this point, I can't say I know for sure. Maybe it's all just due to the candidate. That or and I'm seeing a lot of people actually just say I'm seeing this all over my Twitter feed, is that people are saying that it's all about running a quality candidates and Republicans. And he did mention this whole uniparty thing. I don't know if Jay was actually here or if he was peeing during that time, but this whole idea that Republicans and Democrats, they're two sides of the same coin. They don't care who has control of the Senate, so long as the establishment has control over both parties. So these radical Republican candidates and these radical Democratic candidates will never really get a seat at the table. And Herschel Walker at least in my view, and maybe Dr. Oz, they're considered part of, well, maybe not Dr. Oz, but at least in Georgia, keeping it to Georgia, Herschel Walker is just not, he's just not, I guess, he's just not cut out for the Senate. I mean, Jay, what do you think?
No, I'm there with you, especially with a lot of the scandals that came out publicly against him and stuff, and how the media was portraying him and pushing those scandals against him as well.
I just think he was not a good candidate. That's my thought.
I would agree with you.
And also, Kemp to the Georgian people, like, he kept the state open. He kept the schools open. Like, he kept the state running, and a lot of people benefited from that. And that's why they chose Kemp over Abrams.
That's interesting. So what I'm confused about is it's a midterm election with record high inflation, gas prices coming from the federal level. So, if Kemp is leading by these crazy margins, you would think that, because it's kind of weird what's happening in Pennsylvania and Georgia. Oz is outperforming Mastriano by a lot. But in Georgia, the governor candidate is outperforming the Senate candidate by a lot. Based on what's happening in the country, I just would have thought there would be way more parallel between the two different people. But it is what it is. It's ridiculous, though.
Look, I think Republicans actually cannot gain the presidency without being in the minority in both the House and Senate. I think they need things to get worse before they can get anyone in the executive branch again. I feel like they're sort of playing the long game here because, look, Biden isn't really doing, even with control of the House and Senate, he doesn't like the only main things that are happening congressionally are sending billions of dollars to Ukraine and supposedly just spending more and more of our money on a quote unquote Inflation Reduction Act. But all of Biden's policies in and of itself are terrible. So he could just ruin the country, even with a Republican House and Senate.
Right.
The only thing that you're probably going to have different is that there are going to be more congressional investigations into the Biden administration, which there should be. And you will have those under a Republican House. A Republican Senate, though, you're not going to, I mean, they might have, like, in terms of like presidential appointments, there's just going to be a lot more, gridlock in terms of getting anyone confirmed, which hopefully that will be the case for some of these radical candidates. But like, of every single Democrat that we've seen within the Biden administration, it's like it's shit on top of shit. They're all terrible. There's not going to be like a good member of the Biden administration that we're going to be like, you see, like with the Republican Senate, they happen to just get like a slightly left-leaning dog shit candidate for like Department of, butt fucking. I don't know.
Man. Is not a shit department.
It can be if it goes sideways, Jay.
Hold
on, I gotta run the rest of too because Jay just went to go pee. So.
Oh man. Well, it is interesting what's going on. I hope I don't wake up tomorrow to any mysterious news. I want peace, man. That's all I need. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to see if I see another stimulus package for Ukraine, I'm going to lose it, man. So homicide rates are going up somewhere, and I did it. So I can't. I'm tired of Ukraine. I don't owe Zelensky anything. This whore twerking around for money, just begging for coins.
We've already spent billions of dollars over there, and our deficit is where it is as it is now. And it surprises me that there's still, I would suspect that there would have been less than like 30% support on this Ukraine issue and sending them more and more funds, especially with what's happening here in the United States. I mean, we could have used those funds to really help a lot of middle-class families here in the United States. But instead, we're sending it off to Ukraine, which is known for their corrupt government. I mean, we're not going to see any legitimate use of those funds at all. We're not going to see it rebuild Ukraine. We're not going to see it like rebuild these apartment complexes that have been destroyed. We're not going to see any of this stuff. None of it has been the money that we sent over there. They didn't say that this is for rebuilding your country, or this is for use on rebuilding housing, or this is for use on rebuilding roads. We didn't put any stipulations on the money that we sent over there. We just sent the money over there. We're not going to get any receipts on where it was used and what it was used for. That's my problem.
Talking about the money that we sent to your mom's house to give me her number.
Hey, my mom twerks it very well for billions of dollars.
Sorry.
I hope at your age, this is my humor. It remains just so polished. I don't no filters, just saying whatever I need to say.
Hold on one second. At our age, how much older are we than you are?
Look, Johnny Sins over here thinks he's very young.
Johnny Sins. George, you know what the name for Johnny is, or at least John in Arabic?
What is it?
Yahya. You got Yahya Sins over here.
Well, yeah. You look, you're not that old. I know Siraj is. Well, the hair's still there.
How old do you think I am?
Wait, you know what's crazy? You kind of both look like Andrew Tate and Kristen Tate right now. Have you thought about that? Like, just a little bit. You kind of just look like if you ordered Andrew Tate and Kristen Tate from Wish. That's kind of that's what I'm seeing here. Top G right there.
Oh man, that's so good. Top G. No, I know, but in Arabic, there's no like word for. Well, at least I'm thinking of Egyptian Arabic. Tabgi. Actually, it's funny you say that because ever since Andrew Tate came onto the scene, Jay has basically been him. And it only makes sense that Andrew Tate would convert to Islam, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
and Jay would leave. So basically, Andrew Tate fills the role of Jay, and Jay becomes an atheist.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the observation. But I do have to run. I gotta go.
I know you gotta go. So thank you so much for joining us. Any bold predictions you want to make? You want to make any bold predictions you want to make before you leave?
I don't do predictions, man. I do certainties. I don't do possibilities. I'm a man that likes his absolutes. I think it's going to be a clean sweep. Republicans are going to come back. Doug Mastriano is going to have a better comeback than the Chiefs a couple seasons ago. It's going to be wonderful. They projected him. Shapiro is the winner, but comebacks are there to be won. I think Georgia.
We do like coming on backs here.
Yeah,
yes,
Georgia.
we do. That's how we do it.
Oh my God! I think in Georgia, Warnock, the frickin' Satanist abortion pastor, somehow he's a pastor that loves abortion. I think he'll lose, and Blake Masters, Kerry Lake. I really want to move to Arizona. So if we can just have a red trifecta, and I know a lot of those people running. I know Mark Fincham personally, so if they can all win, my life would be so much better because I can move to a state where I know the entire government. Who's going to mess with me? I can commit any homicide I want, starting with Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams.
Yeah, inshallah we'll get you Stacey
black
Abrams.
On black crime.
Oh my God.
Inshallah.
So George, you can follow him on Twitter is it just Behizy? You pronounce it Behizy or Behizy?
You've been through this. You say it correct both times. You say it exactly how you should. However you say it usually sounds correct anyways.
Well, Behizy, be easy, okay, buddy?
All right. That's good. Now I'm leaving. Behizy
right,
tweets
buddy.
on Twitter.
Thanks so much for joining us, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Have a good one. Jay, let's end the show a little bit with watching some CNN, shall we? I have nothing else to drink. We're gonna just watch and see if there's any copium happening. I personally don't care if Republicans take control of the House or Senate or if any of these like big candidates win. It's one of those things where people who are running the show are doing it so badly and they have so much fucking like they're so cocky about it. You just want to like kick them right in the balls. Like that's how I feel about it. Like I don't give a shit about Republicans, but I sure as shit don't want Democrats to be running the show. It's really a who radicalized you did type of deal.
Right.
But Jay, did you think anything was going to go the way that we thought it was going to go?
Country for a minute.
Not as much.
You
No.
said here's
It hasn't gone as much as we thought it would.
We're not getting any good panels here. We're just getting like dumb John King analysis. Fuck these people. Jay, what do you want to do about tomorrow night with the show? Should we like push it back to next week? George gives us
Well, next week I'm going to be in Vegas, so I don't know if I can do the show.
Okay, then
maybe not until like afterwards. Maybe like Friday or Saturday we have to do an improv show.
We'll figure something out. It's been a rough It's been a rough travel schedule for us. But Jay, I think we've been like doing the show pretty up at least until the election. We've been doing it pretty much every week for like the last 2 months, so we haven't taken any breaks.
Right, we have been.
So I think at this point, if we get anything major, because I remember when we did the 2020, the day after the 2020 election, we like had no gas in the tank.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna at least save the Habibis by not doing that again, because you're just gonna see low energy Habibi Power Hour. And do you really want that? I think that's bad for the show. So we did a really bad job of doing the drinking game tonight, but I think we had some good guests.
I think we did a really good job because we drank a lot.
I mean, we did, but I think it was kind of independent of the actual, like drinking game rules. But it's okay. It's not a big deal. I definitely felt it. I think you felt it. I hope all the Habibis watching at least paid attention enough to also feel it.
Right.
And when Jay comes over, hopefully, and we spoon, hopefully he'll feel it. And that is my 1.5-inch boner. So
I love it. I love the whole inch.
The extra 1/2 inch is just from pubic hair.
That's exactly what it is.
All right, so Jay, not a whole lot's happening. It's not like we have to. We've just been doing this to shoot the shit because people don't like watching corporate media. But I'm gonna go upstairs and watch a corporate media or possibly Sopranos with wifey. So, but I appreciate all of you tuning in to watch us. Jay, great show as always, looking as fit and as cut as always. I do love the fact that you destroyed democracy yourself. I'm gonna go and get pegged by my main squeeze, Jennifer Rubin, after this. So don't wait up for me. I'll send everyone. We'll start a separate live stream just for that part.
Oh yeah, OnlyFans.
Before we go, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you really like our stuff, go ahead and check us out on Locals using the promo code JenRubin69. There is a link in the description of this video where you could join our 24/7 exclusive chat. That is specifically there all the time from now on, starting today. And anytime we do the show, we are going to
starting right now.
Starting right now, all the time. That is going to be our main chat that we're going to read from over every other chat. So like Rumble's next, but like YouTube dead last. Fuck out of here, YouTube. Get out of here with that shit. Twitch, get out of here with your soy boy bullshit.
Soy boy.
Special thanks to Spencer Sachs. Spencer, you wanna come say hello?
Come.
Is that a GW flag behind you and then a tweet?
Yes.
What's the
tweet's
tweet
making
say?
fun? The tweet's making fun of our SA vice president from last year, who was hanging out with freshman, who's my roommate at the time.
You made it into a flag?
No, someone on their floor made it into a flag.
Wow.
For no good reason. Yeah.
Kind of respect it. Jay, you good? Jay's looking at Ryder. Ryder's twerking for you, aren't?
Oh yeah, Ryder is twerking. Exactly what Ryder is doing.
All right, Habibi. So for the Habibi Bros, I'm Siraj Hashmi.
I'm Jay Kobbe.
We'll
I'm
see
Spencer.
you next time on the BB Power Hour. Fuck you, Spencer. Mess with Emma.